Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Tuesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini. What is going on, everyone? You know, we are, October 28th right now, and it's pretty rare that this time of year with baseball, in the postseason, which the Pirates are never in, football season, of course, that's going on, and the hockey season is just getting started. But still, though, it is kind of rare this part of the year that we have major news for all three of the Pittsburgh professional sports teams, and that is what we are here to chat about today. Here in a matter of moments, we are going to kick things off, of course, talking about the most prominent, or at least popular, of the three Pittsburgh sports teams, that being the Pittsburgh Steelers. Another Tuesday, another Mike Tomlin press conference this afternoon on the South Side. He had a lot to say per usual. Talked about what went down in the Steelers' Sunday night football loss to the Green Bay Packers. Gave us a bit of an injury report and talked some other stuff beyond that. After that, we will get into the Pittsburgh Penguins. It is going to be tonight another live stream where we talk about, the majority of Pittsburgh sports news. But you will occasionally, probably here in about half an hour, watch me take my earmuff off right here and occasionally pan to the TV here to my right. The Pittsburgh Penguins, after taking down the St. Louis Blues in historic fashion, at least from an individual standpoint last night, they will be taking on the Philadelphia Flyers, one of the Pens' biggest rivals, here in about half an hour. That game's starting at 6 o'clock. Why it isn't starting at 7 o'clock, I don't know. And then after that, before we get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news for the evening, the Pittsburgh Pirates, they too, with some major news that broke last night, a new pitching coach going to one of the powerhouses in the league, poaching a coach off of that coaching staff. Who it is that the Pirates hired and what their resume is, we will break down, of course, as well. But before we get into all of that, lots to talk here tonight. As always, if you are new here, welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the community that we are building here. If you are new here to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you never miss a video or a live stream ever again. Clicking that little button goes a long way. I appreciate it if you do so. Also, go give this live stream right now a like. Feel free to share this live stream so we can get more and more viewers in here. Already up to 8 viewers in here tonight. So you guys are coming in early and often. And just like I see you guys there, if you have any thoughts, questions, opinions, or comments, please fill the comment section up with those. I will try to get to as many of those as I can here tonight. And lastly, go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and tune back in at some point later tonight for a new edition of FCSR 60. With that, we go to the comment section. You guys already filling it up here this evening. Got a couple of usual viewers in here. You guys were here last night. Concepts, Tyrone, Magic in here as always. Al on the prowl. My dad, I'm sure guys like Flacco and Freight Train, those guys might stop in at points later tonight. Going to try to get to your comments and questions before we officially get things on their way here this evening. Concepts here. MVS, a smart signing, good fit, costs nothing since Seattle already paid him. Good size, and the chemistry with Aaron Rodgers is a bonus. Him being free means we're open to possibly trading for someone. We are going to address the Steelers and the wide receiver trade market here in a bit. Also going to address this MVS signing, and I'm going to say signing with air asterisks here in air quotes, because Mike Tomlin, he was asked about the addition of Marquez Valdez-Scantling in his press conference today. It was, one of the later questions of it, and I don't think he confirmed that the Steelers are signing MVS. That is, it was reported last night that he is going to be signing for the Steelers, but Tomlin and then a couple of local reporters for the Steelers, they pumped the brakes on that. So MVS not here yet. We will see what happens, in the coming days here. honestly, if they were going to bring in MVS, it doesn't really move the needle for me. But if you were going to bring him in, at least bring him in like last week. I mean, you could have had him, him and Rodgers, who have played in that Green Bay Packers system before. Maybe he would have, given you a couple of, pointers and tendencies of what wide receivers are instructed to do in that Packers offense. Could have helped them on Sunday night, but I think the defense was beyond helping in that case. Concepts here. Elliott's hyperextended knee. Hopefully it's not season ending. We will address this as well. Their concepts. I know you are still pissed at Tucker Kraft. In my opinion, he did not do anything intentionally malicious there to injure Deshaun Elliott. That was just, the give and take of football. Guys are going to get hurt like that. We will address the Deshaun Elliott situation here in a moment in the Mike Tomlin press conference. Al on the prowl. I was on board with Mike Tomlin till the beginning of last year. Now it's obvious he needs to go. We did a whole rant and a half about that yesterday, recapping and, analyzing what all went down in the Sunday night implosion that the Steelers, especially the defense, had. Al on the prowl here. We have no identity. Kind of true, honestly, at least, defensively. The days of Blitzburg, they are gone. Their identity is that, you can gash us on the ground and, throw it downfield at your heart's content. Offensively, talking about an offensive identity, you think, having Arthur Smith would, make a run first identity, which, they kind of have a little bit this year, going with the multiple tight end personnel, the jumbo tight end personnel at times. But I think they're still, kind of teetering for me. Are you going to be a pass-happy offense with Aaron Rodgers slinging the rock to, DK Metcalf, Calvin Austin, any of the 8 tight ends you got? They finally got Roman Wilson going Sunday night, hopefully. So, identity on the offensive side of the ball, you would like to know what that is, especially coming up here with 2 good teams on the schedule. The defense, though, I think, it's beyond what the hell it is identifying what they are, honestly. All of you guys in here saying like the button, it's a entrance fee, says Concepts. Appreciate you guys getting those comments in the comments section. Alan Prowl here again. I don't know about you, but if I was the owner, I wouldn't be putting any more money into this team. I mean, you're going to have fans, I'm sure, disagree with that comment. Not because, if you were the owner, stop putting money into the team. It's that people, I think, already blame them enough for, not putting money into the team enough already. I mean, you're sharing a practice facility with a college team. The same thing with the stadium. I'm not sure how much Rooney, affects this. The field is, constantly looks like garbage, and people bitch and complain about that. The locker rooms in the stadium are ass and all that. So, yeah, I mean, if I were the owner, I'd change a ton of stuff, but, money, that'd probably be a little bit down my list here. Jonathan Harvey, welcome back, Jonathan. I will proclaim this truth one last time to the Pittsburgh football fan base of the Steelers. The horrible truth for the fans is that his expiration date has come. I talked about that last night there, Jonathan Harvey, and I compared what the Steelers team looks like now to the Pittsburgh Penguins from the past couple of years. And that is, I think, the whole Mike Tomlin, still being the right coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers, that has run its course, just like how it was with Sullivan and the Penguins. And unlike Sullivan and the Penguins, Tomlin, yes, like Sullivan, needs to go, but it's been, 8 years too late. The Pens finally got rid of Sullivan maybe a year or two too late. And now look, Sullivan is off in New York. They're actually struggling to get out of the gates this season. I think they're 3-5-2 or something, and they gave up a 2-0 shorthanded goal last night. But the Penguins, fresh voice, that group is rejuvenated. You got the old heads turning back the clock, playing some of their best hockey. The young kids are giving a spark of energy here to this team, and they look like legit NHLers for the most part. So a new coach could do wonders for this team But will it happen? I think you and I and all of us in here know that question. As long as, Art Rooney is in charge, he is just going to be complacent and allow the same reoccurring script. 9-8, one unit, whether it's defense or offense, looks completely and totally ass, and you get blown out in the playoffs, pick 20th or 24th in the draft, whatever the hell it is, and we just repeat the cycle all over and over and over again, just like Tyrone says it right here. Hope we can turn it around with defense. Offense, I ain't worried about. Not too worried about the offense either, and we're going to bring it up here when we talk about MVS in a moment. If you end up signing a Marquez Valdez-Scantling and you end up putting whatever, draft capital into acquiring defense, I'd be okay with that. I think, I got more confidence in Rodgers making do with what he's got and keeping this offense a respectable one in the NFL than the defense figuring it out with the guys they have in place. So I'm all for, switching, trading, 4th, 5th round picks instead for a wide receiver to the defense, maybe getting another safety, another defensive lineman now that you're down Daniel Ekwale for the year, or just, something on that side of the ball, a new face to, give a jolt of life, I guess, to that secondary. As long as Art's here, he's saved. Yep. I've been watching this team since the early 70s, says Al. When we have been good, we have had two things: power running, Franco and Bettis, and a solid defense. Solid defense, definitely not there. Power running, not to the caliber of Franco and Bettis, or even, the likes of Le'Veon Bell or anything like that. But the running game has, come along. It's just a matter of using it more often than not, which, for some reason, that's my biggest gripe with Arthur Smith right now, is that the Steelers, when they start to generate momentum in the running game, they, tend to go away with it. I don't know if it's them saying, hey, we got to throw the ball and put up points at a rapid pace here because the defense is leaking, or what. I don't know what that is. This in 2016, the worst defense we ever had. Yeah, well, I think this one is worse than the 2016 defense. This is probably on pace for one of the worst Steelers defenses in their history. And I say that partially because, eye test, they look like ass, but also the expectations and the money getting invested into that side of the ball. That also, makes them top of my list of the worst defense I've seen from the Steelers ever. At least that 2016 defense, they had the excuse that they weren't the unit that was having all the money put into it. That was the offense with Ben, Bell, Brown, that absolutely pristine offensive line with Villanueva and DeCastro, Pouncey, Ramon Foster, those guys. So all the money was going over to the offensive side of the ball then, and the defense was just, getting put together with scrap pieces. This defense, however, they have high expectations, and they are not even scratching or sniffing reaching those expectations. Echelon here. Team is cooked. Fire Tomlin. I will not comment further. That's all right there, Echelon. I mean, feel free to keep the comments coming, but honestly, we can, talk about whatever on the Steelers for the next hour or so, and everything will circle back to pretty much what that comment is right there. Team is cooked. Fire Tomlin. That's pretty much what it is right now. Flacco in here. Welcome back, Flacco. Late, but here. Glad to have you here all the same there. Flacco, going to look over here about 15 to 20 minutes if I had to guess until puck drop between the Penguins and the Philadelphia Flyers, rocking the Evgeny Malkin jersey here tonight. I'm going to be wearing him because he is probably the most red-hot Penguin right now. We are going to get into the Tomlin Press Conference here in a moment, but before we do that, one last comment here from Tyrone Keaton. If we don't make playoffs or a first-round exit, you fire Tomlin. That's honestly what should happen. Will it happen? No. If that does happen, I think you're going to get, like I mentioned yesterday, the scapegoat in the firing of Terrell Austin or something along those lines. Tomlin, he will never get fired because Rooney, for some reason, just doesn't want to do it. Hoping Roman keeps getting targets. He's shown some quality tape in his last few weeks. Absolutely. And that's another reason why, I'm starting to move over from paying a hefty, fourth or even third round pick for a wide receiver, instead sliding that over to maybe someone on the defense, because, you can get Roman Wilson going. Think him and Rodgers, they're starting to mesh a little bit and develop some chemistry. Just see how long you can go that. So if you got Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin as your, number two, I'm pretty sure you combine those two guys together with their varying skill sets. In the rare times that you're in 13 personnel, you can have a legit receiving option there. For DK Metcalf, though, he's still, your concrete number one. Even if you go get Marquez Valdez-Scantling, he's like 6'4", just as tall as DK. I just want to have another big body who's, had a reputation of being a deep downfield, deep threat. And at least MVS has been that in the past for Aaron Rodgers. So I'll warm up a little bit. It's not going to be the sexiest of additions if the Steelers do add MVS, but I mean, what are you going to do? Defense needs help more than offense at this point. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to, like I said, start officially get this show on the road here and start talking about, Aaron Rodgers, Mike Tomlin's press conference here today. Another Tuesday, another Tomlin Tuesday at the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex on the south side. There you see Coach Tomlin there again, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday, what he started his press conference with post-game after the Packers game. Can you guys give me a guess as to what he started talking about first today? You guys probably guessed it. For the second time in a little under 48 hours, Tomlin starting with what the offense did wrong and not the defense. Tomlin began highlighting offensive issues, said that settling for field goals and setting, offensive drives back with negative penalties were, a big reason why the offense didn't score enough points in this one. Pretty much said that they need to score touchdowns, not settle for field goals to beat really good teams. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read through all this. It's ludicrous that he's saying this. So the Steelers, they need to score more touchdowns to beat really good teams. Yes, that's true. But also, you got to be able to stop a cold every once in a while. They also mentioned the penalties. Like I said, one quote that he did mention talking about the offense, they didn't smile in the face of adversity and didn't produce the kinds of plays that, balanced out, the offense and the defense there. Also said that the offense did not respond good enough to that terrible, absolutely horrendous, disgusting non-offsides call there at the beginning of the third quarter. Then after that, he got into the defense. Tomlin said that splash plays again and getting off the field on long third downs were an issue for the defense. Cited, of course, the Tucker Kraft and Christian Watson receptions as huge plays that the defense never rebounded from. So, yeah, similar issues that we saw against the Bengals. Reared their ugly head again against the Packers. Get them into third and long, and you give up big plays. And, yeah, just when you do that, you're not going to win games. However, though, what is causing those, big plays to happen, it's not the scheme, apparently, according to Tomlin. He said, we certainly need to be better on third down than we've been, but it doesn't mean dramatic changes schematically. It is details. Tell me if I'm wrong, but that sounds to me like a big old, hey, it's not my fault. I got the, God's gift of defensive schemes out there. It's just the guys out there on the field ain't doing their jobs. That's what that sounds like to me from Tomlin, the guy that preaches accountability out the wazoo, not taking it himself right there. So I just, my head hurts, hearing him say that this afternoon and reading that even further in the afternoon today. After that, and giving excuses for himself, saying that his defense continues to have the same problems, but they won't change, and that the offense, it's their fault a bunch because they can't score touchdowns. He then got into the injury report, and this is where we got little good news from Tomlin's presser today. First off, said that Scotty Miller did indeed break his finger last week leading into the Packers game. That caused him to miss. He said that they'll see how he progresses how he progresses with that finger throughout the week. Did say that a procedure was done on it to repair it. Did say bad news. Daniel Akwale, of course, ACL injury, out indefinitely, which means for the season. Isaac Seumalo, his pec injury that, honestly, I was very, very worried about yesterday. That injury, from what it sounds like with Tomlin, not as serious as initially thought. It's a pec strain, said Tomlin, so not a full, pec tear like what TJ Watt had a couple years ago. He did say that Seumalo does have a chance to play this weekend. He's going to be limited, of course, in the early portions of the week, but at least from what I heard, whether Seumalo plays or not this week, doesn't sound like it's going to be an injury that, is going to put Seumalo on IR or, keep him out for, more than a couple of games at most. So that's good. And then also, I'm going to take this as good news. The last guy that he brought up in the injury report, Deshaun Elliott, indeed did suffer a hyperextended knee, but Tomlin did say that this is a week-to-week injury and says that they meaning him and I guess Omar Khan and the other coaches, they haven't had discussions yet to decide if Elliott will go on injured reserve. So, I mean, we obviously saw on Sunday night how gruesome that leg injury looked. Tucker Kraft landing on the front of his knee, bends it the wrong way. Immediately we thought, well, hell, he just snapped every single ligament in his knee, at least, tore one thing there. Good news, nothing got torn. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN said last night that the ACL is intact, and that he is going to work through the nature of the leg injury. Fowler did say, though, that this could be a season-ending injury, which, still no doubts that could indeed happen. But the fact that his ACL is intact is very, very promising. And Tomlin saying today that it is a week-to-week injury. We should be very, very grateful that is the case. The Steelers, even if they can somehow, some way, find a way to, keep this defense afloat to where, you're approaching playoffs, and then Elliott might be able to come back. Having Elliott out there just from a communication standpoint, him, out there at 50%, 60%, something like that, and being able to, get the defense in the right set compared to, not having him out there at all. I think that would be, big, massive, and, also just speaks to how bad the defense is right now, that this Elliott, one guy makes the difference, between the defense looking like an average defense at best to a mega ass defense without him. So, but that is it there from the injury report from Mike Tomlin. Elliott week to week, we will still hold out a sliver of hope that he will be able to come back at some point later this season. Isaac Seumalo's pec strain, not as serious as what I thought it to believe. Scotty Miller, his broken finger, he's working his way back from it. But Daniel Akwale out for the year with an ACL tear. After that, then Tomlin, once he recapped the Steelers' performance, how they did, and the injury report, of course, went in, waxed poetic about the Steelers' upcoming opponent. No matter who it is, it could be, the mid-2000s Patriots, or it could be the 0-16 Cleveland Browns. Tomlin's always going to go into these press conferences and talk glowingly about the opponent. This week, didn't really need to dig all that deep or think all that hard about what makes the Indianapolis Colts so good. Tomlin started off talking about the Colts and their head coach, Shane Steichen, I believe he was former OC, offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. Anyways, Tomlin said the run game balance, the use of quarterback mobility, the corresponding play passes, the misdirection passes, his ability to run the ball out of various personnel groups. He's got a well-balanced and diverse attack, well-defined division of labor. All of that reflects Shane and his group. So this Colts offense, they can do it all. And, going to get into more of what Tomlin said about his defense here in a minute, but him saying all of that about the Colts, they definitely do all of that. And I'm going to reiterate my prediction or statement from last week, or from yesterday, saying that this Colts unit, with who they have and how good they are right now, they might put up 50 points on the Steelers. And I say that with full seriousness. Tomlin then got into, a couple of individual guys on offense, gave kudos to Daniel Jones, said he's rewriting his, narrative about what he was with the New York Giants, gave kudos to their offensive line led by Quentin Nelson. Jonathan Taylor said Tyler Warren, got a good look at him when he came out of the draft because he went to school right down the road in Happy Valley, said that he hasn't had to, needed to have some sort of adaptation to the NFL. Talking about their defense, at least Tomlin was a little bit honest there, said that the Colts defense, they are pretty good, but it is something that the Steelers have seen before. Lou Anarumo is their defensive coordinator, was a long-time DC with the Cincinnati Bengals, so that is, at least from a structural standpoint, familiar to the Steelers. And, we kind of came into the last two games with the Steelers with the same path to victory, saying they're not going to shut down the opposing offense. You better hope that, that the offense and Aaron Rodgers are able to win this game in a, Western shootout. Same thing. It's going to happen this week. At least, the Steelers know what defense the Colts will throw at them because of the defensive coordinator. Can Aaron Rodgers in the offense, stay hot throughout the entire game? That's going to be the Steelers' only hope, in my opinion. And then to wrap up, Tomlin's press conference from today got into a couple of questions. Tomlin said that the turnovers, they have been an issue for the defense, saying there are some personality things that were concerning as the game went on, talking about their, inability to force turnovers against the Packers, which still, I mentioned this stat yesterday, the Steelers, they have not had a turnover since the third quarter of their Week 4 matchup in Ireland against the Minnesota Vikings. So they are going to be pushing a month. The Steelers are going to be pushing a month. This $160 million defense, damn near a month since they've had a turnover in the continental United States. $160 million defense. Kind of crazy. Also, mentioned that we were going to be coming back to the defense. Tomlin, he was asked about the job Teryl Austin has been doing. Said that he's largely been pleased with Austin's work, but certainly he and Austin are not pleased with where the defense is. I don't get, how you can say one thing and then immediately say the next. You're pleased with how the defensive coordinator is doing, but also the defense sucks right now, and you know it. Tell me where, you see the world where both of those scenarios can be true, because I sure as hell don't. And Tomlin also someone in that press conference room brought it up finally. We talked about it yesterday. Will Tomlin take accountability and take over play calling duties at all for the defense? He is a former defensive coordinator, after all, long time ago with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Tomlin said that is not on the table right now. So he's happy with what Austin is doing, even though the defense is burning down in front of our eyes. And he is not going to at least try to take a fire extinguisher, off the wall and put out that fire, taking over some responsibility on that side of the ball. So no accountability there. And everything will stay the same. It's going to need to take an act of God, kind of like, when Steelers fans were chanting Fire Canada for months on end. And then finally, I think it was Art Rooney II who said, hey, Mike, we got to do something here. It's going to take another situation like that for any sort of change to happen on the defensive side of the ball. And then the last two things Tomlin brought up in his press conference, similar to talking about the defense overall, where he's happy with Austin's work as of late, but that the defense sucks. Similar things were said about Darius Slay. Tomlin said that Slay's reduced snap count was because the Steelers were rolling through defensive backs, and players like Brandon Echols playing well recently earned those snaps. But also in that same breath said that Darius Slay has been solid at times. Is the solid at times for Darius Slay here in the room with us? Because I sure as hell have not seen it. You guys have not either. So make that make sense. And then the last thing Tomlin said is that the Steelers today will be working out a pair of safeties. Have no idea if those workouts have taken place, or if they have, what sort of we do not know if those workouts have taken place or what has happened in those workouts. The two safeties that are working out today, or did work out today for the Steelers, familiar faces. Von Bell, we remember long-time safety with the Cincinnati Bengals. He right now, 30 years old. And the last time we heard from him, he was in Cincinnati last year still. Had a stint with the Carolina Panthers in 2023, then went back to Cincinnati, played 17 games, had 30, where's his tackles? Had 24 solo tackles, 55 combined tackles, no sacks, one fumble recovery, just two pass defenses, and a forced fumble. So, not really much cooking there. The other safety, I believe this guy is a former Baltimore Raven, but he did do most of his work in his career with the Chicago Bears. Eddie Jackson, 31-year-old safety, last year was out, was in two places with the Baltimore Ravens and the LA Chargers, and played 11 games, had one pass defense, 30 tackles. So looks like to address the absence of Deshaun Elliott, the Steelers, they are going to be going the route that they have pretty much the entire season up to this point beyond Elliott. Let's go out there and get retreads, old guys way past their prime from other terrible teams, and bring them in and pretend that they aren't old or washed, or that they're available for a reason. That's why Chuck Clark is here. That's why Juan Thornhill is here. It's why Jabril Peppers is here. And now they're going to do the same thing here with Von Bell and Eddie Jackson if they do indeed sign one of those two guys. Will they, though, sign with the Steelers? I don't know. Steelers did make an addition to the practice squad. Today, they brought in Darrick Forrest, safety, formerly from the Washington Commanders. Have no idea how, he's done this season. If he has played at all this season, 40 career games, 17 starts for him. So I guess he right now is going to be the first guy to get a crack at replacing Deshaun Elliott. In that same time, Tomlin, like I mentioned, did not comment on the potential signing of Marquez Valdes-Scantling, kind of like all of you heading into today. I thought that it was official. He was a Steeler. Jordan Schultz, formerly of Fox Sports, said that the Steelers were signing Valdes-Scantling after he worked out with the team yesterday, and then even doubled down on it today, saying that Valdes-Scantling is expected to sign next week. To be signed next week. So he still thinks that the Steelers are going to sign MVS, but all the other insiders are saying, still not 100% that it happens. Who knows if it'll happen? Steelers did try to get MVS. We remember earlier in the offseason, tried to sign him to the practice squad. He ended up going out to San Francisco, and now he's back available again. And who knows, if the Steelers are going to sign him next week, if he'll still even be there. Jordan Schultz last night, when saying that the Steelers are going to sign MVS, said that a few other teams, including the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, have interest in signing him as well. So we will see what happens there. Steelers, you think a move will come here soon. They signed running back Raheem Blackshear and linebacker Jacoby Windman. They released those two gentlemen today from the practice squad. So we'll see what comes of it. But other than that, like I said, another Mike Tomlin press conference where he said a whole lot, didn't really say anything, and took no accountability that his defensive scheme, could be the main problem with the defense. And so and for more of the same stuff, let's enjoy the Indianapolis Colts going into Acrisure Stadium and bludgeoning the Steelers on Sunday afternoon. Gonna real quick take a swig of water, if that's okay with you guys. Looking at the TV here to my right, approaching 3 minutes gone here in the first period between the Flyers and the Penguins. We are going to talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins next, after I catch up with a few of your comments. It's now 17-10 left here in the first period. The Pens in Philly, of course. We get a look there at Rick Tocchet, longtime Pittsburgh Penguin and Philadelphia Flyer. Played for the Flyers to start his career, then went to the Pens, ended up coaching the Pens in their back-to-back Stanley Cup championship runs in 2016 and 2017, and now he is the new bench boss, the head honcho for the Philadelphia Flyers. It is 4-1 in terms of shots in favor of the Flyers. They got the, I assume, early offensive zone time and got 4 shots before the Penguins got their first of the night. So we will talk about that game, this game here in a minute, as well as what the Pens did last night. To the comments section we go here. Going to catch up on some of your comments. Alan the Prowl taking the over on yards for Jonathan Taylor. I agree with that. Jonathan Harvey, Art Rooney has shown and continues to show that he doesn't inspire to the level of championships. Only 10 wins or more. Pittsburgh fans need to chant Fire Tomlin at home games. Penn State did so. Honestly, I'm surprised that it hasn't happened already. They chanted Fire Canada at Steeler games. They even chanted it at Penguins games. They chanted it all around the country on College Game Day on ESPN. So honestly, I have no idea why Fire Tomlin chants haven't started. I'm a little shocked. It seems like something that would be a common thing at this point in time. But yeah, you're definitely right too there, Jonathan, that the once standard, we talk about standards all the time there with Mike Tomlin, the standard of winning championships has long been gone, with Art Rooney having, control of the team. Dad in here, like I said yesterday, Tomlin just shakes his head like a damn bobblehead. And when one play finally goes right, he looks so cocky. Like, that's right. That's how we do it. Yeah, you will see him do that on the time. I don't necessarily pay attention to him, shaking his head. I like that distant stare off that he does into the scoreboard where he's like got that little bit of a squint to his eyes, like, huh, I wonder why that didn't work. I mean, I've only done it 800 times. I wonder why, here on the 801st time, that we finally did something here. So I don't get that there. Terry Bradshaw said it best. He's a good cheerleader. That's true. 3 wasn't great enough first 3 drives, but at least they scored touchdowns this year. Your defense can't stop a nosebleed. Agreed there. Agreed there. That's been one of the most shocking things from this team this year. It's not just that the offense is good, it's that they've been getting off to hot starts in just about every single one of their games. They're putting up points in, most of their early drives, and it's cool to see, that the offense is doing that. Tomlin looks clueless. Tomlin stubbornly arrogant. Like I said, that stare off. And we had to play a drinking game on here where it's like take a shot every single time you see Tomlin give a blank stare. We all would be in trouble on here breaking, YouTube guidelines. Tomlin could be trolling, or maybe he's pissed, so he's keeping the defense chewing out in the house. That could be true also, but trolling or not, if you're the offense and you're putting up, 25 points a game, which is, with a $160 million defense, should win you more games than not, I'm pissed. Whether it's trolling or not, I'm absolutely furious if I'm Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Warren, those types of guys, because you're more than doing your part, compared to how much money's getting put in on the other unit there. So missed play Slay is a detail. He might need to be benched for Pierre Island concept. You are all aboard the Pierre Island and the Corey Trice bandwagon. I like that there from you. Flacco still Tomlin faithful, but man, WTF, change the mindset. It's 2025, not 2027. Or not 2007. If he hasn't changed it by now, he'll never change it there, Flacco. Still thinks that it is 2007 where the running game is the most prevalent part of the offense in football. And, as long as the team stops the run, but you give up, damn near 400 passing yards a game, it's going to be a win for him in my book. Dad in here with the Let's Go Pens, rocking the old 71 Geno right here. Usually I, at least last night, had a propensity of turning my attention here to the screen, and then something happens, like the puck goes into the net. Fourth line out there for the Pens right now, Tommy Novak and the 2 kids, Billy Koivunen and Ben Kindle. It is cool watching this game on ESPN. There's the Frozen Frenzy going on right now, sort of like hockey's version of NFL Red Zone, where all 32 NHL teams there in action today. And almost, as I was saying, as I'm paying attention to the screen there, almost the Pens were able to put that one into the net. I think they got it past the goaltender, and then he was able to dive back and keep it out. This Urson, the goaltender. Yep, backhand there from Ben Kindle, squeaked past him, and then he was able to turn around and get back and stop it. Damn, so close for the Pens. It's in our DNA. It's hard for people to change. Call it a bad habit. Tomlin hired January 29th, 2007, and should step back down by January 29th, 2026. Can Art Rooney do that if this optimistic season goes to naught? Will he? No, probably not. I think there's a little bit out there that, Rooney, being the least, one of the lesser football knowledge owners in the league, he's going to, believe whatever Mike Tomlin says to him and, think, I'm good. As much, I think, Tomlin, he is the end-all be-all in this organization right now, and it would have to take him stepping down for something to change because, Rooney, he's, I think, more of a yes man to Tomlin than than we think here. Ekwale's injury, unfortunate. He was playing well in a limited role. I agree. Their concepts, Steelers, they have had a good knack of having those solid interior defensive linemen that go in there and spell the main guys and do a good job. Like for years, it was Dan McCullers, and then it was just spitballing names here, guys like Montravius Adams, Isaiah Buggs, a couple of other guys, and Ekwale. He's the latest addition of guys who go in there for a couple plays a game and do their job, and they get recognized for it. Mike Sullivan fired, Clint Hurdle and Shelton let go. Pirates have a bad owner and GM, but the Penguins are doing well so far and better ownership. Art is either a bad owner or an ignorant one. Could it be both? Honestly, Jonathan, could be both. Not going to deny that. Just said on TV, all 32 NHL teams play tonight. 6-time Frozen Frenzy. Yep, that's cool. Just mentioned that a moment ago. I like this. Honestly, the NHL should do that more often. We about to rot, says Tyrone there. Sayamalu's injury being short-term is great. I agreed there. It does allow Anderson to be eligible because once Sayamalu went out of that game Sunday night, the jumbo tight end personnel just became completely thrown out the window. So Sayamalu, is he having the best year? No, but is having him, out there as, still a, guy to have out there that you can continue doing the things you're doing on offense with a jumbo tight end, that is worth him being out there right now. Going to try to catch up here on some of your comments here. Slave made some good plays. Point out the good plays maybe once every 2 games, but I haven't seen it at all. Flacco saying, "Give me Justin Simmons, I guess, or try out Luisine from free agency." Honestly, if they do add a safety, are they going to use them properly? Probably not. You're going to put Justin Simmons, kind of like what you had with Minkah Fitzpatrick, 50 yards off the line of scrimmage playing deep safety, and the ball is never going to get thrown to him, or he's going to be, too slow to react to it. Agreed there. Truth Thong, welcome, Truth. Secondary full of old washed rejects. Just terrible. That's what the steel curtain defense has come to. Coley moved Peyton Wilson to safety. I mean, he is kind of used to, chasing after guys who get behind him, so maybe putting him back there at safety would work out. But, they like his lateral movement, sideline to sideline, so he's going to stay up there. Have no idea if he's even had defensive back experience. O-line has young and hungry draft picks and playing well. Old players everywhere else, though. Yep, agreed there. Ramsey, I think, has been playing safety, but just hasn't been good at it recently. So you might be, forced to just keep him as a nickel or outside corner at this point. Middle linebacker, maybe. That could, put Ramsey there as well for a snap or two. Just throw off the opposing offense some. I'd be cool with it. Predictable play calling, compete for it. How can Steelers fans chant the stadium when they sell all their home tickets anyway? It's a good point, Concepts. That was like, 60-40 Steelers to Packers fans? And it's not that, sorry. The TV roared behind me here. That's because a defenseman for the Flyers just ran over Blake Lizotte. Molachari sticking up for him. That's good to see. But back to your thing here. I talked about the Steelers fans last night. If I was a season ticket holder, honestly, we could see the writing on the wall, that the Steelers were going to be in for a rough night. And when, opposing fans are offering you, $2,000 for just, one ticket in the upper bowl, you're obviously going to take the money and stay home. But also, at some point, show some integrity to, not just, be a money merchant out there with the tickets. That was absolutely sick. Acrisure Stadium, like I said, formerly known as Heinz Field, used to be a haven of hell for opposing offenses, and now it's nothing. No home advantage whatsoever. Agreed with that statement there, Tyrone. Guys talking Averill Reese, assuming draft prospect right there. Yes. Like I said, when I pan over, something good happens for the Pens. 1-0 Pens. 8 of you in here right now. If you are wearing earbuds, please be warned. There is going to be a lounge sound coming up here in a minute. I think that was Justin Brazeau again. What a beauty. Pens up 1-0 on the Flyers. Justin Brazeau from a sharp angle coming in to the left of the net, and he's able to squeeze it somehow short side. He just fit that 3-inch puck into a 2-inch hole right there. Hell yeah, Justin Brazeau. 6th goal of the season. My goodness, he has been a beauty for $1 million, and we were expecting him to just be a depth guy. Holy hell, Brazeau is on fire. Let's go. Black Magic, stay positive. My dog and brother jumped up. LOL. Sorry about that. There, guys. I apologize. Volume down just in time. LOL. Let's go, Pens. Concepts. I think it was you or Al or someone who I damn near blew out their eardrums last night. I apologize. Appreciate the warning. Yes, I apologize. The horn is loud, but hey, it's just like what it is when you're there in PPG Paints Arena. Okay, with that, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate all the comments there talking about the Steelers. I like the drop. LOL was waiting for the horn. Don't mean to be that guy, but if hitting that horn a bunch more times means the Pens win this game against the Flyers, then by God, I am going to do it here. So scared for this game. LOL, Tyrone. You talking about this Flyers game or the Colts game? Because both, understandably, the Flyers are the Pens' biggest rival, and the Colts are, going to be Mack truck meeting a Prius in this matchup this weekend, in my opinion. It was me, but it was 2 goals, so I understand. Yep, it's all right. Their concepts. I'm sorry about that last night. Speaking of the Penguins, ladies and gentlemen, let's try to keep things moving along smoothly here tonight. Let's switch up gears real quick and head to the Pittsburgh Penguins. They just taking a 1-0 lead on the Philadelphia Flyers in Philly with, I think, under half of the first period left to go. The Pens were also in action last night, and they taking it to the St. Louis Blues, winning it 6-3. We were live to start that game. I think we were live for the entire first period. It's going to be a similar story for this game here tonight. No real changes to the Pens lineup other than with Rickard Rakell out. Ville Koivunen slots into the lineup on the third line. Philip Hollander up on the top line with Sidney Crosby and Brian Rust. Tristan Jarry starting last night for the Pens. And just like you said, Concepts, 2 goals right away for the Pens in the first period. Brian Rust, 38 seconds into play. Evgeny Malkin, just an absolute insane backhand pass from the middle of the zone all the way over towards the boards. And Brian Rust able to shoot one home there. So good goal there from Brian Rust, his second of the season, excuse me. Then Anthony Mantha, not too long after that, was able to make it 2-0. Another great feed from Evgeny Malkin. That made it 2 goals in the first minute of the game for the Pens. After that, St. Louis stormed back a little bit. I believe it was Nick Bukestad, the former Pittsburgh Penguins, crashing the net on Tristan Jarry, was able to tip home a rebound. They then did a similar play later on in the period between Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou. So it was 2-2 heading into the first intermission for the Pens. And then it was all Pittsburgh after that. Approaching the midway point of the second period, defensive defenseman Parker Wotherspoon, probably one of the least, offensively minded guys on the team, Wotherspoon on a delayed penalty is out there with, the power play unit for the most part. From the face-off dot, just absolutely rips one high glove side on the goaltender, Joel Hofer. An absolute snipe for, a player like that. He became the 15th different Penguin to score a goal this year, and that made it 3-2. Then the two-headed monster came to eat. Sidney Crosby up high to Erik Karlsson. Karlsson, a slap pass to Brian Rust in the high slot. He tips it home. Rust gets his second goal of the night, but that was not the talking point. Sidney Crosby, ladies and gentlemen, scored his 1,700th career NHL point on that assist. He became the fourth fastest player in NHL history to record 1,700 career points. Did it in 1,362 games. So congratulations to Sid, an absolutely incredible milestone reached there, 1,700 points. Also, with that assist, became the new leader for most multi-point games in Penguins history, of course, passing Mario Lemieux, his 498th career multi-point game. Just absolutely insane stuff from Sid. And now, don't think he had a point on that Justin Brazeau goal just a minute ago in the Flyers game. Crosby right now, I believe, sitting 24 points away from passing Mario Lemieux for most points in franchise history. So, Sid, please stay healthy, because if you do, no doubt he is going to break that record here sooner rather than later. Also, on that goal there from Brian Rust, like I mentioned, his second of the game, third of the season, he, with that goal, passed Marty Straka for 12th place on the Penguins franchise scoring list with 444 points. So congratulations to Rusty there. Erik Karlsson also getting his 8th assist in his last 6 games with that assist. He's now has 9 assists in 10 games with a +7 rating for the Pens. So fantastic stuff there from EK. After that, Penguins up 4-2. They ran away with it after that. Sidney Crosby got a breakaway late, came in, stopped on his initial shot, was able to put home the rebound. Another goal for Captain 87, Evgeny Malkin, an empty netter to put the game away. Malkin now leading the NHL in assists with 13, and he is tied for the league lead in points with 16. All of that at 39 years of age. Talk about a guy who is beating the washed up narratives in glowing fashion. That is Evgeny Malkin. You see the final score from last night there, 6-3. The Penguins now 7-2-1 to start the season. The last time the Penguins started with that record, the 2016 and 2017 NHL season. And I think we all remember that season turned out quite well for the Pittsburgh Penguins, winning a Stanley Cup that year. The Penguins now through 10 games, they are the third highest. They have the third highest point total in the NHL, so they are the third best team in terms of points in the National Hockey League. They have the most road wins in the NHL, the most goals in the NHL, and the third best goal differential in the NHL. So the Penguins, they are flying high right now. They are flying high in this game against the Philadelphia Flyers here to my right. They are in the Flyers' defensive zone again, so they are poised to score again here hopefully soon. Some roster moves and lineup changes for this game going on right now. Owen Pickering, who was one of those young guys that you thought may make the team out of camp, but got sent back down to the AHL. Pickering, he got called up today. He is in the lineup tonight, as is Matt Dumba. No Harrison Brunick for the Pens. He is being held out again. And Arturs Shalov's in goal for the Penguins. So the Penguins flying high right now, 7-2 to start the year. And they come back into the zone looking for another win tonight against the Philadelphia Flyers. Back the other way, 3-on-2 come the Flyers. unable to connect cleanly on that pass. 5 minutes to go in the first period in Philly. To the comment section we go here, catching up on a couple of comments here before we continue on here. Just one extra segment here, news segment here, and that is going to be on the Pittsburgh Pirates. They making a new hire to the coaching staff, finding a pitching coach last night. I'm looking at your comments here. You guys just talking amongst yourselves. So that's all right. We will wrap up the top news stories here of the day. We are going to start or end, I guess, the main news stories of the day with the Pittsburgh Pirates. They last night making a addition to their coaching staff, hiring Bill Murphy as their new pitching coach. This was first reported by Chandler Rome. Rome does some beat writing work for The Athletic on the Houston Astros. Bill Murphy, longtime pitching coach with the Astros. I think the Astros had two pitching coaches, so he was one of a dual job right there for the Astros coaching staff. Murphy, according to Chandler Rome, very highly thought of by the Astros and was a key part in building this phenomenal pitching infrastructure for the Astros. He has long been coveted from across the league, according to Rome, and now he had strong overtures from at least one other team this winter, but it is the Pirates and Paul Skeens who he chooses to go and coach. So welcome to Pittsburgh, Bill Murphy. Just a little bit of a background resume on him. 35 years old is Murphy. Coached in college at Georgetown and Brown in 26 up until 2016. Then in 2016, he joined the Astros organization, ended up getting a coaching gig with their MLB team in 2021. During that stretch in 2021, when Murphy was with the big league team, the Astros pitching staff, they have consistently been near the top of the MLB. Last year, in that time with Murphy as their pitching coach, the Astros have had a 3.61 ERA, which is the best in baseball. They have had a 91.6 Fangraphs WAR, which WAR is wins above replacement. They have had that WAR is the third highest in the MLB. So yeah, this hire by Murphy, absolutely phenomenal pickup here by the Pirates. He also comes in, with some winning pedigree. The Astros won the World Series in 2022 with him on staff, and they led the American League in ERA and WHIP that year, and they threw 2 no-hitters. And probably the most underrated quality of Bill Murphy, bilingual. So no going out there and needing a translator on the mound. So with that, welcome to Pittsburgh, Mr. Bill Murphy. Again, back a couple of months ago now when the Pirates fired Oscar Marine and Brett Strum and Mike Rabello, I was wondering, why they did it, why they got rid of those guys, especially after the year the pitching had. But, getting a hire like this, have optimistic that the pitching staff can now become from good to great, maybe even among the top of the MLB. So welcome to Pittsburgh, Bill Murphy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 3:07 left in the first period over here between the Pens and the Flyers. Real quick, going to get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news here in a minute. Got a good bit to talk about there. Before we do that, going to scroll here through Twitter real quick, see if we have any extra news going on. This here from Nick Farabaugh covers the Steelers for Penn Live. In addition to Von Bell and Eddie Jackson, other players who worked out today for the Steelers. Safety Derek Forrest, who did sign with the team's practice squad, and offensive tackle Jack Driscoll. Jack Driscoll. Is he a Detroit Lion, or he was a Lion or a Charger? That name does ring a bell for me, but can't put my thoughts onto who exactly he played for there. But anyways, good to see that there from the Steelers. See and hear some other reactions of what is going on here tonight between the Pens and the Flyers. Harrison Burdick not in the lineup here for the Pens tonight. Had a rough night last night against the St. Louis Blues. Was out there for 2 goals against. And speaking of goals against, with 2:35 left here in the first period, the Philadelphia Flyers just tied the game up at 1. Bobby Brink, young forward for the Flyers, notches it up at 1. Damn it. Yep. Loose puck around the front of the net with Noah Cates there, and Brink crashing the net, able to put it home. One of the forwards couldn't pick him up coming down through the middle of the slot. So, damn. Also interesting here. We are going to bring up the Pittsburgh Steelers in the later portions of the extra Pittsburgh sports news. How about this? Speaking of workouts across the NFL today, another former teammate of Aaron Rodgers, 41-year-old tight end Mercedes Lewis, he is working out today with the Denver Broncos, and also the New York Giants worked out a dozen players today, including veteran wide receiver Deontay Johnson. Man, DJ, he has been like MIA for, a solid month now, and he finally pops back up there. So Deontay Johnson could be going to the New York Giants. That is interesting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news here for the day. We are going to breeze through this pretty quickly here. Going to start with the Penguins again, going back. And again, we talk about just a tragic event happening at these professional Pittsburgh sporting events. Last night, the Pens and Blues at PPG Paints Arena. It was reported, I think, after a goal in the first period, that a man fell onto the main concourse level behind the Penguins bench at PPG Paints Arena. There were some conflicting reports that the fan fell from a suite or that he fell from the upper bowl of the arena. I do think that it was from the upper bowl. I think I've seen more reports from that than him falling from a suite. The man, I think, around 40 or 50 years of age, I don't know, apparently fell from section 234 into section 101. And it wasn't something to where, like, he was sitting in a front row seat. According to Felicity Taylor of WTAE, the fan who fell and tumbled over multiple rows of seats, and then his head went through the glass that is, set up there to prevent people or things from falling over, and then he landed down below. EMTs and workers at PPG Paints Arena tended to him immediately, and he was reported in critical condition. Don't know any sort of update on him at the time. A statement from the Penguins on the situation. The Pittsburgh Penguins can confirm that an adult male fell from the upper concourse to the lower bowl at PPG Paints Arena earlier this evening. The individual was immediately attended to by Pittsburgh EMS as well as PPG PPG Paints Arena or PPG Paints Arena transported to a local hospital. No information at this time. Penguins and OVG are closely monitoring the situation. Our concerns remain with the individual and his family at this time. The same thing was expressed from Sidney Crosby and other Penguins players and head coach Dan Muse after the game. They learned about the fan falling shortly after the game wrapped up, and understandably, they said that they did not want to talk about anything else other than hockey. And obviously, here on the channel, I too want to express my thoughts and prayers with that man and his family. And at that same time, I gotta say, what the hell is going on right now? That now makes the trifecta of a fan falling from a high place at all three of the Pittsburgh pro team sporting events. Of course, we remember in the summer a young Pirates fan falling from the top of the Clemente wall. He was seriously hurt in critical condition. Just yesterday, we were talking about on Sunday night, a worker for NBC, I think, falling from the near the top of the Acrisure Stadium scoreboard. He is in critical condition. Haven't heard anything on him since then, and now this last night at the Penguins game. So just absolutely terrible, and something that is reoccurring, unfortunately, and hopefully it comes to an end. While we're, I guess, on this somber note here, today in Penguins history marks the 2-year anniversary since the tragic death of Adam Johnson, former Pittsburgh Penguins forward who was playing hockey overseas in a London league, took a skate to the neck area and ended up passing away from that. So we honor him today on the 2-year anniversary of that tragic event, and our thoughts and prayers still go out to his family. Back on a more promising and uplifting note here with the Penguins. We talked yesterday about young Penguins goaltender Sergei Murashov and how he and the baby Penguins of Wilkes-Barre are just off to an absolutely incredible start right now, 7-0 to start the season. Murashov yesterday winning AHL Player of the Week. He, during last week, stopped 51 of 52 shots against in 2 starts, leads the AHL in wins with 5, and he ranks second in the NHL in the AHL with a 140 goals against average and a 949 save percentage. One way or another, I got to say this. The Pens right now, I see you, Flacco, there in the comments. Penguins look great right now. If the Penguins are going to continue this hot streak, and they are, legit looking at what they're doing right now, bring up Murashov, because that kid, he is the real deal, and he could be a difference maker that could get this team into playoffs and maybe put the team on his back, because I think at 22 years of age, he looks like a phenom right now, and a long-term solution in the net there for the Pens. For the Pens, Sidney Crosby, last night we mentioned he hit the milestone of 1,700 NHL points and the new leader in Penguins history in multi-point games. He also is getting recognized today for his Little Penguins Learn to Play program. Have heard of that program, and growing up playing hockey, have helped out with that program, and have known people that have had kids who have been in that program and things like that. So just cool here that, NHLPR putting out this on Sid Crosby. His Little Penguins program has helped 17,000 kids participate in hockey since 2008. It's gone on across 25 plus rinks in the Pittsburgh region. And he also, this program hosts 30 local charity games. 30 local charities are held are hosted in his suite at every home game for the Penguins. So thought that was really cool there for the Pens. Wrapping up here, talk on the Pens here today. Elliot Friedman, top NHL insider for Sportsnet Canada, was on the FAN hockey show yesterday and talked about the Penguins and, of course, the trade rumors with them that never seem to go away. Friedman saying that the Penguins, they are doing well right now, and I think Kyle Dubas is really determined to show we need to keep adding, keep getting younger, and acquiring younger assets. And Elliot Friedman saying, I don't think 2 weeks into this season are going to change that. So I guess that is a tell there from Friedman that the Penguins still could sell off some older assets to get younger guys, even though they are off to this hot start. One guy who Friedman says does not want to go anywhere is Rickard Rakell. Friedman said that he is convinced that Rakell does not want to go anywhere, and it's his preference to stay in Pittsburgh, but he does not have control of it. Honestly, I understand that there from Rakell. You spent the beginning of your career out in Anaheim with the Ducks. Now you've been in Pittsburgh for a handful of years. You want to, even with the hectic lifestyle of a professional athlete, you do want to settle down in one place. So I understand that there. Moving on here to the extra Pittsburgh Steelers news here. We mentioned this briefly last night as it broke. The Las Vegas Raiders signed wide receiver Tyler Lockett. That was thought when he got cut from the Tennessee Titans last week that, hey, maybe the Steelers could go and have a, buy low option with him, kind of like Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He now goes back out west and reunites with Pete Carroll and Geno Smith. Could that, maybe set up Jacoby Myers possibly leaving? Who knows? We'll see if the Steelers are still in on him. The Steelers are still in on adding a wide receiver at the trade deadline, according to Adam Schefter. He today was on a podcast with Ty Schmidt of the Pat McAfee Show, and Schefter said that multiple teams like the Steelers, Patriots, potentially even the New York Giants, they are looking to add a wide receiver at the upcoming deadline. And then Schefter went on to mention guys like Jacoby Myers, Rashid Shaheed, even, I think, briefly brought up Jalen Waddle. So we will still, even if Marquez Valdez-Scantling gets signed, keep an eye on the wide receiver market up until the trade deadline passes here on November 4th. Just last few loose things here for the Steelers. Tonight, keeping a tab on a division rival, the Cincinnati Bengals today released veteran defensive tackle Mike Pennell. Could be an interesting idea for the Steelers there. One, because Pennell is coming from a division rival, so he might have a little bit of knowledge he could provide the Steelers. And also, without Daniel Ekwale now, you do have a need for a backup defensive tackle. So Mike Pennell could be a name to keep an eye on. Congratulations to Steelers linebacker Cole Holcomb. He today was named the 2025 recipient of the Ed Block Courage Award from the Steelers organization. That's a pretty obvious choice right there. Holcomb came back from that absolutely gruesome injury in 2023 and has been a steady contributor for the Steelers defense, though they have been woeful to start the season. So congratulations to Cole Holcomb there. And also, talking about the Steelers' woeful defense, Jeremy Fowler put this out there yesterday, talking about terrible defenses, at least around the AFC North. Not too many defenses are doing hot right now. The Steelers, of course, 30th in the league in total defense. The Cincinnati Bengals, 32nd, which was kind of expected from them. The Baltimore Ravens, 28th. A little bit of a surprise, but not as much of a dreadful surprise as the Steelers are. And then Fowler brings up the Cleveland Browns. They are the best defense of the bunch, third in the NFL in total offense, but ironically, they have the worst record. So that there from Jeremy Fowler. Just wanted to bring it out because, we're down in the dumps on this. Rivals are still down in the crap with us right now. And to wrap up the evening here, ladies and gentlemen, just one extra Pittsburgh Pirates news story here for tonight. Last night, Jason Mackey of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette put out there that the Pirates have brought back their minor league yearly awards. And they released a schedule today of what awards will be given out over the next 3 days. So we will mention who wins these awards as they go on. Today, the Pirates announced their staff of the year, their rookie level player of the year, their rookie level pitcher of the year, and their rookie level base runner of the year. And the winners of those awards are as follow. Staff of the year, this one kind of a no-brainer. The Greensboro Grasshoppers, the Buccos High A affiliate. The Grasshoppers, staff of the year, 88-win season. They led the SAL. They were led by SAL Manager of the Year, Blake Butler. The High A affiliate paced the league in home runs and earned their second straight postseason berth. Of course, having Connor Griffin there for a good bit this season helped along with that, so congratulations to them. Base runner of the year in the minor leagues was Omar Moreno, 31 stolen bases between High A and Double A for him. Also had a decent year with the bat out of UCLA, hit .275 with 21 doubles and 10 home runs. Pitcher of the year at the rookie level, Yonleg Gaetano. I probably butchered that name to hell and back. He pitching for the Pirates in the Dominican Summer League, 20 years old, an 0.93 ERA with 39 strikeouts and 5 saves in 13 appearances. Congratulations to him. And I was wondering who was going to win this one, whether it be Connor Griffin or Esmeralyn Valdez or this guy. But minor league rookie level player of the year, Edward Florentino, for the Bradenton Marauders, and I think eventually the Greensboro Grasshoppers. Florentino, a fast riser into the MLB top 100, hit .290 with 16 home runs, had 35 stolen bases, and a 348 OPS. And my apologies, that was with the Bradenton Marauders and the Florida Complex League Pirates. So that wraps up for the first batch of minor league awards for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Tomorrow, they will announce Willie Stargell, Slugger of the Year, Kent Colby, Reliever of the Year, Omar Moreno, Base Runner of the Year, and Bill Mazeroski, Defender of the Year. And my bad, I just totally butchered that. The Omar Moreno Base Runner of the Year is Deuce Gorson. So my apologies there to Deuce. You definitely flew around the bases like Omar Moreno. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is going to wrap things up here for the evening. On stream for over an hour and a half again. So I appreciate each and every one of you coming in here and getting in your questions and comments like normal. Keeps things engaged on here on the channel and keeps me moving right along without, any sort of delay or hiccup. So appreciate you all. And that's going to wrap things up for tonight. One final time, if you are new here to the channel, please like this live stream, share this live stream. Leave a comment after the fact. I always see those. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing here on the channel. Go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And tune back in later tonight for a new edition of SCSR 60. thank you all. Appreciate all of you who stopped by and commented tonight, and we will be back here tomorrow talking about what goes on here in this Penguins-Flyers game and the first injury report for the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into this weekend's game against the Indianapolis Colts. Thank you all for stopping by. Subscribe, like, share, comment. See you guys back here tomorrow. Have a good rest of your Tuesday night. Peace.